Okay, so this is our Unit 26, Principles of Operation Management. This is a very interesting unit. Uh, it will help. It is all about, as the name is explaining the principle. The name of the unit is Principles of Operation Management. So the name is explaining itself. It is all about the operations of the businesses. So in this unit, basically, yeah. So this unit, you will be covering some kind of the key concept of operation management. So within the organization and external environment, and then you will learn how you can link these operation with the supply chain management, products and processes, and we will see how it can help to gain the organizational efficiency and effectiveness, and then ultimately how it will help the business to achieve the tactical and strategic goals of the business. And in this module, we will learn some kind of the techniques and framework, uh, s- such as some continuous improvement, total quality management, benchmarking, and risk analysis, because all these things has to improve the business operations. So in the upcoming slides, we will learn why the operation management is very important and how it helps the business to improve their processes, productivity, profitability. So we'll explore in upcoming slides. So these are kind of today we are trying to cover the learning outcome number one. In learning outcome number one, these are the subtopic which we will be covering, like definition, how the operation management developed over the time, and function of the operation management in organization, some kind different perspective of the operation management on the different level, like on strategic level, tactical level, and operational level, and its contribution toward the organization objective. We will cover scope of operations management and some career opportunities. We'll discuss some kind of the skills required. Then there is a one transformation model. We will discuss that model, dimension of the operation process. This is another kind of the framework. We will discuss that also. And then external influences, how they impact on operations management. And lastly, last but not least, we'll discuss the global and ethical sourcing, because this is very, closely connected with the operations management. So these content we will be covering today. So this is the main thing, key terminologies. So basically we are starting our lecture from there. So and this unit is about operations management. So in our organization, we have a different kind of the operations which help us to run the business smoothly. Okay, Keith, if you have any question, you can stop me and you can ask the question. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
No problem. So in business, it is just consists of many business operations, which together has to run the business smoothly, and to increase the profitability of the business and increase the efficiency of the business. And operations specifically focus on to increase the efficiency of the business and to improve the profitability. In the management context, so operations are basically the task. As I said, there's the operations or task. It refers to the activities and tasks and processes which are taking place in the business. And these are closely related to produce the goods and services, deliver the goods or services. So when we are delivering the goods and services, so there are loads of activities work together to deliver these services. It start from sourcing from the raw material, then manufacturing take place, then you are delivering the services, and obviously you need to consider the quality assurance also when you are delivering those products to the customer. So mainly the core part of the operation management is you are transforming process, where you are taking input and transforming it into output. So these input could be your labor, raw material, and you need some kind of the other sources and capital. Then you can it goes in a transformation process like a production process, and you are delivering the final product Final product is goods and services organizations are any organization you can see in the world. They are delivering either product or services. So the operations are mainly concerned with the transformation process of the input, transforming it, output, what is output in the form of product or services, and it is a final product or the value to the customer which we deliver. And always it helps us to gain the customer satisfaction. So this is just we are talking about, this is the explanation of the operations. If we talk about operation management, so like other management functions, operation management also involve the designing the operation, controlling them, and improving the production process within an organization. The reason behind to improve it, because every organization is striving to improve the efficiency and the profitability of the company. If your operations are efficient, of course, it will increase the profitability of the organization. It will increase the pace of the production, efficiency, cut down the raw material, delays in the production process. So this refer to the efficiency. So it also helps if your if your production processes are very smooth, then it helps to run your day-to-day function smoothly. And of course, organization all the time try to improve their process and try to bring the improvement or continuous improvement in their operations. So as we have already discussed that this why they want to bring the improvement and why they want to run the operation smoothly, because they want to enhance the productivity. And when your productivity is increasing in one way or other, it has to achieve your business objective. Maybe it will increase the productivity, cut down the cost, okay, and it will enhance or improve your profitability. I think that the final goal of all the organization is to improve their profits. So is there any question from this slide?
No question.
Okay, that's great. So there is a kind of the history about the operations management, how there is this developed and how it improved with the passage of the time. So since the men are there are some form we have operations, but operations are taking place. But if we talk about the manufacturing industry, so in manufacturing it has changed. Operations change dramatically over the time. So there are the three phases which we are going to discuss. The first one was a craft manufacturing. It is about like skilled people who were preparing the product with their own hands, and they were very skilled people in that era, during the craft manufacturing era. So in this case, goods were used to be produced in a low volume, but the variety was very high at that time, and the customization was very high. Because these people were making the product according to the need of the individual people, so customization was very high at that time. They were meeting the requirement of individual customer. And these kind of the business, they were mainly suitable for the small scale and local productions, because when you are producing the products manually, it's not possible to produce a product in a bulk. And in that time period, the competition was also low. Even in nowadays, some industries are still just using this method of production, craft manufacturing. But again, it is very expensive. As I told you, it is a manual process, so it costs a lot. So it is very expensive. So that was a craft manufacturing. The main element were competition was low, small, suitable for the small scales, and it was a very highly customized. They used to produce a very highly customized product, and they were catering the needs of individual customer. And then the second era was, it then slowly it moved toward the mass production. In the last 19th century, some of the organization industries, they replaced it with the mass production. What happened in the mass production? They wanted to produce the big volume of, or big volume of the product. But in this case, the variety was low because they were not catering the need of individual customer, maybe the big group of the customer, they were producing the same product for the big group of the customer. And customer hasn't a choice. They were not available with the big variety to choose the things. So whatever is available, whatever the producer was producing, they were pushed to buy those products. And what was reason behind to bring this introduce the mass production? Because producer or manufacturer were aiming to bring the cost down and the prices down. Because when you are producing the same product in the bulk, it helps you bring the cost down, and ultimately it impact on your prices also. So for this reason, and to produce the same production in the large volume, they needed to set up the big setups or facilities or factories, and to sell their products, they were focusing and working on the aggressive marketing, because they wanted to create the demand for their customer. Without advertising, it was not possible to sell their product. So in this era, they were focusing on advertising and bringing the cost down, and producing the product in a bulk. Okay, so that was this era. Then slowly in the mass production, different kinds of the innovations were coming, and it was improving further day by day. So the first innovation, then important innovation, was brought by the American system of manufacturing. And this was American system of manufacture. This innovation came, it was introduced by the American. So what was that innovation? It was by standardized and interchangeable part. So what they did, normally people had to make the new parts if they want to make the new product. So they had to make the new part for the machines and things, and it was very costly and time consuming process. But what they did, they started producing the standardized parts of the machine, which can be used in the different machines, and they can replace easily. So it was saving their time. I can give you one simple example, like the screws. So the screws, they made this standard size of screws, which can be fixed in all the machine. They don't need to produce those screws over and over again. If I can take the example from today's time, if you have seen the mobile charger, all the mobile charger, they have a C shape now. They don't need to make the different shape, and they don't need to make the different machines and dies and part for that thing. So that was one of the innovation. So it helped to reduce the amount of work required by cutting, fitting the individual part of the machine. It also helped because one company or one industry was working on the one part, another industry was working on the other part. So they get some kind of the expertise in specific parts of those machines, and it helped to improve their production processes, speed up those processes. And then the second innovation came through scientific management. There was one of the scholar, Frederick Taylor. So he was a management scholar. He just tried to improve the work in the in the organizations. So he mainly focused to observe the work, and he was observing how much time is spending on the task, and how we can improve that task. So they were finding the best way to do the same job while reducing the time on the each task, and while reducing the extra movement of the worker. So what they observe the activities, and they try to reduce the task, and mainly they break one job into the small activities. So they breaking down activities into tasks that were in the sequence, and they made the sequence the first step, second step, and third steps. So it made, or it helped to do the work quickly, and the main focus was again on efficiency. It has improved the improved the productivity of the worker. They were using the less time, and they were doing the more work. And when they divided the work into the sequence, so each worker was assigned as one specific part of that task, and that person was just doing that task over and over again, and it was helping to improve their speed over the time. Let's say we can take the example of the pizza dough. One person is making the pizza dough, Then second one is rolling it, then topping, and then cooking. So in each station, one person is standing there and then they're doing the working quickly, and they have divided the work into the task and into the sequence number 1, 2, and 3. So it also helped to improve the processes of the work or to produce a product. Is that clear? Any question?
No question. It's clear.
Okay. Then the third innovation came by the Henry Ford. They utilized the same method introduced by Frederick Taylor, scientific management. They also break down the task into the small jobs and in the sequence. But what they have done, instead of they started moving the product, they were taking to the product to the worker instead of worker coming there. So instead worker are bringing the part of the cars at one place and assembling the things like the conveyor at the airport. They have the kind of the belt of the thing, so that conveyor is moving and the product is coming to the worker or to the labor there, and that is coming in there doing that things. It was also helping them to save their time and improving the productivity. So they were controlling the pace of the production. And similarly, like scientific management, so each worker, whatever the task was assigned to them, they just train, even that is unskilled worker, they just trained them for that specific task, and that he was performing that task over repeatedly. So he is just skilled on that specific task and performing better. And constantly, it was as they're performing better, it was constantly reducing the cost, and that time period was the peak of the mass production. So it is just like a story. Then the modern era started. From 1917 again, the market was changing. In as we from the 1970 market was changing slowly, and it was fragmented again. But in that time period, people were not inclined to buy the same product or which are not differentiated and different. But people started and liking to buy the different kind of the product, and the product life cycle was very, it was becoming short and reduced. I mean, one product is coming in a demand and then it was not in demand. People want something new. So that's why the new again, people wanted the variety and the different things. So mass production was not very successful by this time. So it was started to change again, mass production. So there was another innovation came into place, but the Japanese people total quality management, which we will be discussing in later on, and just in time. It is about the sourcing of the material just in time. I can briefly explain just in time. It means you are not buying the raw material in advance. Whenever you need, you just order that material and they supply it to there whenever you need. So it is called a just in time concept. It is related to the product sourcing. So these were kind of the things were introduced by them, and there are employee involvement was also there. So it was empowering the employees, and it was kind of the big, it gave the big challenge to the rest of the world, that it was very helpful for the Japanese people. For some people it was working, for some people it wasn't working. So mass production paradigm started to change by that time. And since then, there was not any single approach which is successful for the people. There were the different approaches, and people are just trying and testing which is working best for them. We are going to discuss some of the approaches, production approaches. Uh, so those approaches are, oh, I think so. I skipped very fast. Yeah. So they were applying and trying to use the different kind of the approaches. So there are the different kind of the approaches, flexible size specialization. When we type and talk of the flexible specialization, in this case, the company was not specialized on the whole product. They were just getting the expertise in the one part of the product. Another company or other firm was getting the expertise on the other part of the product. So they were working in a collaboration. Let's say one company is producing the fabric, other was doing the sewing job and making ready the clothing, and the third firm is just selling the product and marketing and selling under the brand name. So all these three companies are working closely with each other. For this one, so means each company, they are working separately and they are adding the value to the process collaboratively. So for this thing, the firms, they need to work together in the collaboration. Your networking should be very strong and your relationship very strong with the firm until unless you won't be able to work efficiently and effectively. Otherwise, the delays can be over there if there are no strong communication and collaboration in long term. Then they introduced the lean production. In lean production, it was introduced by the Toyota production system. They were focusing on the elimination of all kind of the waste in terms of the time, waste in terms of the resources, or any activity during performing the job. If any activity is not adding the value to the job or it is unnecessary, they were reducing all those kind of the waste from the production processes, and they want to improve the productivity and efficiency of the process. And their another main focus was they want to bring the inventory level also down, and whatever they needed, they were just keeping that inventory. At that moment, it was helping to reduce storage cost and extra excessive material which can be wasted later on, and it also helped to spot some kind of the errors and flaws in the production process, which they can easily fix and make the process faster, reducing the cost. Discussed already this, and it was cutting the lead time, any kind of the delay because of inventory or resourcing of the inventory. Then mass customization, very opposite to the mass production, mass customization took place. When we talk the mass customization, obviously they want to produce a product in the bulk, but they want to cater the needs in individual need or requirement of the customers also. So that was a mass customization. For that thing, they were heavily dependent on the new technology and automation processes. So I think so they introduced and they were depending in this era on the heavily dependent on the technology and automated process. Then agile manufacturing was taking place because slowly people were becoming in that working environment, and business was changing so fastly and so rapidly, and the customer demands were changing so rapidly, their preferences were changing for so rapidly for the products. So they needed new and different products. So agile manufacturing is kind of the capacity in their processes, production processes, where they can move their process from one product production to another production so easily. Again, this was feasible to produce a product in bulk or in a mass volume, and they were also dependent on the technology heavily. But the main difference is they have the ability to switch easily, or they have a flexibility to move on product production to another product production. So this was a history of the production processes, and they were evolving slowly from there. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So uh, mm, so there are some kind of the roles these production operation managers are taking. They are mainly responsible for managing activities that are part of the production of the good and services. So mainly, as I told, we need bear in mind throughout this module that is mainly these operations are mainly related to the production of the goods and services. So that's why they're responsible all the kind of the activities to manage activities which are related to the production of the goods and services, which could be the operation processes. They are making the designs, operation design. They were designing the operations. They are doing the planning. They are controlling and the performance improvement and operation strategies. They were making strategies related to the operation, not other part of the organization. And in some cases, they have to interact with other department and manager of the other department, because when we are making the production, we need to interact with other departmental managers, or like marketing managers, like financial manager, accounting people, or HR, who are hiring the labor for us. So they have to do the interaction with them. It is also part of their job. So some kind of the responsibilities are human resource management. They are interacting with the human resource management and asking and making sure the right people are available at the right time to perform the production activities. Then assist management, they need to make sure that enough building and facility and equipment are available to run this operation or production processes smoothly. Cost management, it is also one of the key responsibility to bring the cost down and using the resources efficiently and transforming those resources into the final product. So these were their major responsibilities of the operation managers. So designing operation system, managing, improving, we will be discussing in the cycle later in detail. Yeah, the cycle is coming there. This is the full cycle: planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling. Like other management department, production operation has also these part to organize their resources and run the production processes smoothly. I'll go to the next slide where it is discussing in detail. When we talk about the planning, so from the operation management perspective, they need to set the objective, but for the operations, production operations, not other part of the department. Then they find out what kind of the resources needed to run the operation, and they are making the establish the steps or the steps which are necessary to achieve those objectives. So it could be they need to do the forecasting at the higher level, capacity planning, production planning, how much products are needed, supply chain management. They need to find out which supplier they are going to interact with, which supply chain model they are required to use. Then organizing, this is mainly required to arranging the resources to run the task over there. Now they are practically arranging the resources. From the operation management, it means you are structuring the workforce, what kind of the workforce is required, and what kind of the equipment you are needed, how much material, what material are needed to optimize your production processes. When it comes to the leading, again, you are going to motivate, you are directing and influencing your team. You're motivating them, you are trying through the motivation, you are gaining and buying their commitment to increase or enhance the productivity. And until unless there is the motivation, you can't get the efficiency, you can't gain the good productivity. So the main goal in this, or the key task, is you are engaging your workforce, and which is focused on achieving the operation goal, which will be definitely increase the productivity and profitability. Controlling, like other management function, you need to control. You keep reviewing your performance, and you are checking and you are monitoring your performance against whatever objective you have selected or set in the planning phase. If you see it is on the track, it is fine to go to continue. If something is not good there, you need to make the necessary adjustment to see that operations are on the track. So, like other management level, operation management also have a different levels: strategic, tactical, and operation. And they divided their activities on the three level. And why they have divided this one? Because it has to achieve the organizational goal. So each level has to achieve or works toward the organizational goal. So mainly they are divided into three levels: strategic level, operational level, and functional level. If we see it strategic level or perspective of the operation management, so it spread it over typically from 3 to 5 year or even longer. So just like a corporate strategy in operation management, it is a high level, it's a corporate level. and it mostly align with the overall business strategy. It is not just focusing on the one part of the operation, but the overall business strategy. It deals with that thing, and it gives the overall direction, and it sets or gives the direction and set the goals for the operation function, but for the whole organization. For example, they need to make some kind of the decision here, what kind of the business model or they are going to design. Okay, what kind of the uh, products or what kind of the value they are going to deliver to their customer in their product or in their services. Capacity strategy, they need to decide on the size of the capacity. It should be the big factory or small factory. And then location strategy, they decide the location of those plants or services. Technology selection, what kind of the technology they are going to buy and invest in. So these are the your strategic level decision. Then you decide on the supply chain strategy. It should be the agile or it should be the lean supply chain strategy. So you need to discuss or you need to decide on these things, which are big level decision. Contribution we will discuss in the last slide. We will conclude later on. So when we talk about the tactical level, it translates the strategic goal which are set in the previous level into the actionable plan. Now they are going in bit deep. So they are setting the actionable plans and they're setting the policies in this level. They are making the inventory policy in how much the raw material you need and how much your work in process should be there, how much finished good you are going to produce there. So you are going in a bit detail now. So, and then you are setting a standard and procedure for your quality. So this is your standard procedure against which you want to check the quality. Then resource allocation in this phase, physically you are distributing resources across different operation or different sector of the organization. You are allocating the resources, you are ensuring that all the resources are available and you can run your processes smoothly. And again, you are making the balance between the supply and demand. You need to anticipate the demand, whatever in the previous level or strategic level, you have anticipated the demand. Now you are making the balance between the supply and demand. So operation level, it is a very, now it is going in further detail and it is a very practical level where you are physically doing the activities on the daily basis. These are day-to-day activities, physically producing the product and services. Like you are making the schedule and timing, deciding the timing and sequence of the job. And maybe you are making a schedule for your worker also and for their shifts also. Then you are whatever the quality standard you have already set, now you are monitoring those things and you are checking if there are any kind of the deviation, you are not changing them, you are correcting them. Okay. And again, maintenance, day-to-day activities, you need to ensure all the machinery is in the good position to work without any delays. And you are checking orders, you are fulfilling the orders, you are procuring and resourcing the thing, inventory management, you are tracking the inventory, if there enough inventory is there, and you're recording the stock. So these all things, because if anything is not working properly over here, it is going to delay your work and it means your operations are not in efficient condition. So now we can see the contribution toward the organization goals. So on strategic level, whatever kind of the decisions you are taking and making, these are aligned with the long-term goals. So they focus with the sustainability and growth and profitability of the organization. They contribute toward the growth and profitability of the organization. While the tactical level, they help to use your resources effectively and efficiently. And they also bridge some kind of the gap between the strategy and daily operations, functional level, whatever the operations are done on the daily basis, on the functional level, and whatever the objectives are set on the strategic level, they have to bridge the gap between them because in between tactical management comes. So they are providing the resources and do the things practically and achieve the strategic goals. So basically, they are concentrating to make the effective use of the resources and which maximize the value, and they also ensure to reduce the cost also, because when your processes are efficient, they definitely minimize your cost. Then operation level strategies or operation management, it ensures day-to-day tasks are executed without any flaws, without any delays, and ultimately you are producing the product in time, which are satisfying your customer, and you are making sure you are reducing the waste and efficient use of your resources. So this is the contribution of each level of operation management toward the organization objective. So all these three levels are helping to gain the competitive advantage. It has to meet the customer need, and it ensures the long-term success of the company. Uh, if we talk about the uh, scope of operation management, it is a very wide field. It is multidisciplinary field, and its scope is very broad. So its activities are ranging from the production and supply chain management, total quality assurance, and facility management. Because when you are producing the product, it's not you are just working in a one factory. There are so many other part of the organization and sector which are interacted and integrated, and they're working together to produce the product from raw material to producing the final product and to delivering to the customer. So there are the laws of different sectors, they are working together. And it is also, it's not, operation management is just for it is relevant to the production or production of the products or services or certain industry. No, across the different sector, it is very relevant. It is used in public sector, private sector, in non-profit organizations. If we can see the first, if we can see the scope, I just can request you. It is a very self-explanatory. I can explore one or two. Rest of you can explore by yourself at your leisure time, at your leisure. Sorry. So production management, for example, in the operation management is very relevant in production management, where you can see the process of turning raw material into finished good. This is a core activity, by the way. In the service operation management, you can use this one in services sector also, where you can ensure that you are making the services processes efficient. Supply chain management, again, if your supply is efficient and smooth, then it helps you make your production processes very smooth. So managing the flow of material, information, and financing from supplier to the end customer. So similarly, you can read and you can see how operation management is implemented and integrated in the other sectors and part of the business. So relevance, again, we can see it can be used in public sector, as I said earlier, private sector. In public sector, they ensure that they are providing goods and services effectively to the public while utilizing the uh, operation management or smooth operation management. And their main focus and the goal is utilizing the taxpayer money effectively and efficiently, like using the resources and their money very efficiently, and then providing the best services to them. In the private sector, of course, in private sector, they are producing the product and services. They want to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization, which will lead to the profit maximization, because private sector, they are mainly concerned with the profit maximization, all the firms, all the companies. So their main objective and goal is they want to enhance their profits. So keenly focus on efficiency and effectiveness of this sector. So in this case, uh, they want to reduce the cost, improve the product and service quality, and they respond rapidly to the market demands. Again, okay, again, the service quality will be improved when you are integrating the quality assurance and you are ensuring or applying the total quality management concepts over there. As I said, you in operation management, loads of parts are integrated over there. And similarly, in a not for profit sector, they are not working for the sake of the profit, but again, they want to make their operations, they want to run their operations smoothly because whatever the resources in non-profit organization, they don't have enough or enough resources. They have very scarce resources, and by utilizing those resources efficiently, they want to meet the objective of the organization. So their main focus is to use the available resources effectively and efficiently, which is only possible when your operations are efficient. So I think so now the time is 10:23 already. So I'm going to finish this lecture over here. So rest of the learning outcome content we will finish in the next lecture. So I'm going to stop recording here.